It is of the hour. It's time to call our meeting to order. I'd ask that you stand as we have the invocation and the Pledge of Allegiance, and that we would insert and remember our fellow council member, Nick Shealy, and his recovery as we go before the throne.
Yes.
Ask the Honorable Henry Buddy Livingston to pray.
Thank you. Heavenly Father, as we gather here tonight to do county business, let it be pleasing to you and the view that you would have what would be in your if you were here on this earth walking with us. Guide us, lead us, and make sound, solid decisions. Again, bless the people that are here. Bless our county. Bless our people in this county who are suffering with the heat, the price of inflation, etc. Also, please remember our council member Nick as he recovers from his surgery. In your name we pray. Amen.
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 I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, you may be seated. What an honor to see so many people here tonight. We welcome you, not just tonight, but every time the council meets. We love to hear from people that we serve, and certainly want to be your representative government. Are there additions or deletions to the agenda?
None.
Hearing none, is there a motion that we approve the agenda as published? Motion by Mr. Hipp, second by Mr. Livingston. Discussion? Hearing none, all in favor by show of hands. Opposed likewise. It carries unanimously. Item number 2 on our agenda is public appearances. First up is
Mr.
Jesse
Chairman.
Long, Director of Parks.
Excuse me.
and Recreation.
I'm sorry to interrupt. Please forgive me.
You told me that, and I forgot that quick.
At this time, I would ask that the chairman recognize Andrew from the press for a special presentation.
Okay, Andrew from the press.
Andy.
Andrew, make up your mind.
Andrew's got his day. So Andrew has the night off, but
I got you.
Andy Husk, I'm the publisher of Newberry Server. I know most of you and many of you in this room.
But over the last month, we had our Reader's Choice voting, and we added a new category this year, which was favorite local politician. And I have the honor to present this to a chair of the council. You gathered quite a number of votes, and Council Chair Todd Johnson, you're the recipient.
Oh, wow. Wow.
You were within a few votes of favorite spiritual advisor and pastor as well.
Oh, wow.
Tell the other one.
I think we should adjourn the meeting and go home, you know? What a great honor. Thank you so very much. I appreciate that, and thank you, everybody who voted on that, and I appreciate the support. I know I stand with everybody on this council to say we're going to seek the Lord's face, and we're going to do what's right, and that's all we can do. So now, with my face flush and blush, Jesse Long. Top that.
Congratulations, sir. I don't know if I can top that, but congratulations. I'm happy to be back here. So tonight I am presenting about a partnership that we'd like to pursue with the National Fitness Campaign. So I'm just going to show a quick video first, and then I'm going to run through some slides and then answer any questions that I can. So Ginger is not online virtually, but I do have a follow-up call with her tomorrow. So if there's something that we can answer tonight or tomorrow, we'll take care of that.
Okay.
We're changing the way America thinks about fitness. With 200 fitness courts open, our campaign is growing. From college campuses to city parks and trails, we're bringing free fitness everywhere, and we're just getting started. Hi, I'm Mitch Menadget, founder of the National Fitness Campaign. National Fitness Campaign was founded in 1979 when we opened the first fitness court. Redesigned for the 21st century, the fitness court is the world's best outdoor gym. Our 7-movement, 7-minute system allows you to use your own body weight to get the perfect workout. Easy or hard, it will work for you. Our goal is to build healthy communities by making outdoor fitness an essential part of people's lives, so that each day is better than the last. Now more than ever before, it is vital that we move fitness outdoors to remain safe, healthy, and strong.
Michiganders, as soon as we can, we go outside, which is one of the reasons why the fitness court was such an attraction to us. What impressed us most was their basic philosophy that they want to provide world-class fitness for free. Truly, anyone can use it, no matter what your age is, no matter what your physical fitness level is, no matter what your skills are. It is very adaptable.
Thousands of certified ambassadors will be trained to deliver classes, challenges, and clinics as part of our national fitness campaign. New programs are bringing students outdoors across America. The Fitness Court mobile app is your gateway to enroll in these programs. Simply scan the new digital wall with your phone to access a library of free workouts designed to optimize your experience on the Fitness Court. Learn the moves and take challenges as we dig deep to create impact for our partners across America. This year, we are thrilled to introduce Fitness Court Public Art. Cities have the opportunity to select a local artist to design their fitness court using the power of the arts and fitness outdoors in iconic public spaces. We're proud to have helped cities of all sizes raise millions of dollars from respected sponsors to support free fitness. Wherever fitness is a priority, you can find a fitness court. Building beyond 200 cities and colleges, we're partnering with large cities using urban movement data to map the best locations for healthy infrastructure. We're bringing fitness courts to within 10 minutes of population centers everywhere.
They provide these wraparound services that from a city's perspective, that's what you want in a partner like this. You want it to come presented to you on a silver platter with a bow tied around it. They're one of the best partners, I think, that I personally have ever worked with.
We serve almost 1.2 million members across Michigan. And this partnership really is an opportunity for us to bring scalable, free health and wellness opportunities to our community. So I would actually invite cities and organizations, big and small, to explore the opportunity to invest in fitness courts. To be very honest with you, the feedback from different municipalities and different communities has been very positive.
We're committed to raise $150 million to bring the campaign to 1,000 cities and schools, building the largest fitness movement in the world. Join us. Let's make world-class fitness free.
So the first step in this endeavor is just to try to see where we are with our constituents and with our county council members on this type of venture and support and everything. So we're looking to see what our priority is for wellness and then what the site impact would look like. So we have a potential site that we're proposing and then check and see if we can come up with the funds to help. There is a grant available that's $30,000, and that's in a different slide here in a minute. And then just the timing of the campaign. So again, we're just kind of looking to make sure that we have buy-in before we go down this trestle and see where we are with your support and with other possible partners. So the first step is kind of a site impact, or the second step is a site impact. So they always are looking for, is it a place that has high visibility? Is it an active place? And then also, is it connected to different infrastructure in the community? So the spot that we're proposing is where the old Winn-Dixie was, over near Piedmont Tech. So there's an open lot there that would be ideal for it. So that's kind of where we're looking. It's close to a lot of businesses and right there at Piedmont Technical College as well. So that is the area that we're looking at. So the next step, or the third step, excuse me, would be funding. So there is a possibility of a grant for $30,000 through the national campaign, National Fitness Campaign. But the price tag for this is between $137,000 and $157,000. And some of that's dependent on whether you want to do the artwork or not do the artwork and different things with installation and stuff. So there are alternate funding pathways, obviously. There's potential for different grants. One specifically would be possibly the PARD grant, then having sponsors, local businesses sponsor, and then some possible fundraising opportunities, which one is already in place. I don't know where you are with that, so I don't know if you want me to talk about it, but the next step would be determining where we are and if we should apply for the grant, if we have buy-in and everything. But the current grant cycle is open now for like the next 15 days. So to apply for the 2022 grant, we would have to do that quickly, it's not a lengthy process. That's the good news. And this organization works with you closely to help you down that path and help you with securing partners and different things as well. If we were to wait, we'd have to obviously wait until July 1, and then we'd be applying for the 2023 grant year. But they will do a feasibility review, which she's already started, Ginger that is, and then we have a follow-up call tomorrow to determine where we are in this process, and then we'll just kind of move through these phases. But right now, obviously, we're in the pre-application phase, and we're just looking to see that everyone's kind of bought into this. And it's not a guarantee that we get it anyway. We're just looking to see if everybody's comfortable with us moving forward down this path. So again, that's kind of I thought the video kind of wrapped it up in a nutshell, so I wanted to just go with that. But I think that this would be an awesome opportunity for the community. It is something that is not going to require a lot of staff and work. So that's the good news. Like they said, there is an app available where they can kind of go through the exercises and things themselves. So that is my presentation.
Okay. Are there questions or comments from council?
Well, I think that's a great idea, and truly fitness is truly necessary. So that's a great idea, and I think we need to move forward.
Anyone else?
Just a quick question. Have you, by chance, talked to Piedmont Tech to see if they wouldn't partner in this since it's in that same?
I have not talked to a specific individual. However, I did work there for 3.5 years. So I feel sure that they would support this. I have talked to some individuals at Piedmont Technical College who feel the same way. But my suggestion would be to talk with the president, obviously, but also the person that's over the foundation at Piedmont Technical College.
To help defer the cost.
Correct.
And they would have it right there.
Right.
Just a thought.
Absolutely.
Anyone else?
I think it's a good idea. The grant, is that a matching grant?
Yes, ma'am.
So you would have to have 30,000 to get the grant once we. Okay.
Correct. So that's part of why we're asking for the buy-in. I don't know if Christopher wants to add anything.
Sure. So Jesse and I have been talking, the $30,000 in the grant and then some buy-in from council. That gives us $60,000 to leverage, and then the difference, we would go out to Piedmont Tech, to the hospital, maybe to some of our industry partners, have some events like the Spartan races or some other event in the park that will help raise additional revenues to support the initiative. But it's a relatively inexpensive way of getting an asset and located in the outdoors without having to build a park. And so I'm enthusiastically, I was enthusiastic when Jesse presented it to me, and I'm really happy to see council's response as well.
Is there other comment?
Well, we're still $97,000 short, correct? Even if we get the matching grant, then that means we are $127,000 in. If we had the $30,000 grant match that we got to have.
And Jesse and I, the discussion we've had is we would go out and raise that $97,000 difference. We would
But that is an assumption.
We would do the fundraising campaign. That's our commitment. That's staff's commitment, that we would go out and raise those funds.
Yes, sir. It would require community support. And so, no, there's no guarantee that we're going to raise $90,000 in 2 months or anything like that. So,
How quick do you need the money?
I would need to ask that tomorrow in the call. But I think we have, you're talking about 6 months at least before they're ready to move forward.
I think the concept's a great idea. I'm not so sure about the funding. I think it's very premature to vote on the funding for it when we got no more information than what we got.
Okay. Are there specific questions that you would like me to have on the call tomorrow? Like with timeline?
Timeline.
Timeline of when the money's got to be available. Also, when you're looking at this, obviously you're going to have insurance needs, who's going to carry the insurance needs, et cetera. Again, I think the concept's a great idea.
Right.
But I'm concerned about the money and liabilities, et cetera.
And make sure they're gonna, when you're on the conference, that they are gonna assist.
Right, yes, they've already.
And find out when the go-ahead, don't go ahead, drop dead date for commitment of funding would be. I mean, I think it sounds like we're kind of in agreement that the concept is good. And we need maybe some more information before we absolutely commit the funds.
Right, on the funding part.
So
correct.
you could go ahead with the grant process and the discussions, knowing that I think council supports the idea in general.
Right, yeah, okay.
And I believe, Jesse, I saw in the PowerPoint that came through that the application is non-binding. If you could
Correct.
receive the grant and say, no, we can't afford that. So,
That's correct.
Okay.
This
All
is
right.
another one of those cases where having a grant writer on staff would be great.
Yeah, so, all right, absolutely.
It is good though, like Travis said, these are a partner that they work through that with you. So they assist you with the grant
When you talk,
application.
ask questions about the grant, find out, how long do you have to accumulate this money to move forward?
Right, okay. All right.
And how long is it good for, to get it completed, to get the grant?
Right, all right.
I think the heart of council is let's expand recreation, let's do all we can to make available to all ages, but we got to be aware of the cost, both seen and sometimes what we refer to as no-see-ums
Right.
associated with it.
Right.
Okay?
Yep.
Thank
All
you
right.
so much, Jesse.
Thank you.
Next on our agenda is Brenda Williams, Newberry County Memorial Hospital.
Thank you for having us here tonight. I'm bringing my sidekick here, Dr. Jerry Alewine.
Dr. Jerry.
Took me a long time to get there.
And you deserve every penny. That's why I wanted to make sure that we said that.
And he is the Dean of Health Science and Nursing at Newberry College, and I am the Director of Foundation and Marketing at Newberry Hospital. And thank you for inviting us tonight. We actually just want to share a video. We are very excited about a partnership that has taken place between Newberry Hospital and Newberry College. As everyone is aware, the nursing crisis was bad before the pandemic, and now it's critical. And the statistics are that by 2030, South Carolina will be number 4 in a negative way as far as nursing shortage. So the college and the hospital have worked together, and we have come up with we hope, a solution in that they have the BSN, and we're hoping that we can take students. We have been having the students come to us in the last quarter or so of their program. But now they're going to be coming to us as soon as they enter into the program. So it gives the hospital a little bit longer to show them the benefits of staying in their own community or coming into this community. So we're hoping that we can therefore recruit. We have the strong, highly educated students that we can have that will come in. They'll already be trained. They'll all be already be comfortable in our hospital. So, and then also, if it's okay, I would like to have Dr. Alewine share some information that just happened on Monday that I think even takes us a little step further, if that's okay.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Well, I bring you greetings from Newberry College. And Monday, Dr. Sharon's our president, and Bruce Baldwin, the CEO at the hospital, met. And as you may know, we are in the process of building a 12,000 square foot nursing and health science facility at the college. At least I've been told that. I'm yet to see any dirt moved yet. But as of Monday, in addition to that educational facility, we are also adding a working clinic onto the nursing building.
Wow.
And this clinic will serve the needs of faculty, staff, students. We will have a one of our orthopedic surgeons in there 1 or 2 days a week for our athletes. And this will also be open to the public, which will basically be although we're not supposed to use this phrase, a dock in the box at Newberry College that is sponsored by our local Newberry Hospital.
Wow.
And having that outreach into the community is something that the hospital has long wanted to do, and this is probably one of the best things that we've done in a long time to really demonstrate our commitment not only to the facility there on Conant Street, but to the community as a whole.
I think that is amazing.
Yes.
Yeah.
I would like to go ahead and show the video.
Please do.
And then we'll get out of your hair.
Okay.
Thank
Jerry,
you.
you said you had not seen any dirt moved. If I'm not bad wrong, I did see you with a shovel on the groundbreaking day moving dirt.
Well, and I will tell you, Misty West is of the assumption that if one of her backhoes goes missing, it's not me.
Thank y'all.
I've been at Newberry Hospital for 26 years. I started my career here.
Technology is wonderful when it works, isn't it?
Bear with us. I apologize.
Well, I came to Newberry College 5 years ago. We started a Bachelor of Science in Respiratory Therapy program. It is the only one in the state. And over these 5 years, I've had the opportunity to grow the program. A lot of folks don't realize that we have the BSN program here at Newberry College.
I'm Maddie Turner, and I'm a senior at Newberry College in the nursing program. I came from a technical college, and I transferred here just because I like how small the classes are, and I like how the teachers are so personal and like they know you and they care.
For me, it was close to home. I didn't want to leave my family and go too far away, and I knew from a young age I wanted to be a nurse.
One of the great things about us is we have low ratios between our instructors and our students. Even we who are in administration are very familiar with our students. The issue that I have often seen is new grads that go into big medical facilities tend to get lost. As the Dean of Nursing and Health Science, I am so excited with the relationship that the college has with Newberry Hospital.
I work as a tech at Newberry Hospital, and they're supportive. They care about that I am in the nursing program. They work around my schedule. We take vitals 3 times a shift, and we really try and get to know the patients. I fell in love with Newberry Hospital, and they treat me like a family.
I was working as a retail assistant here at Newberry, so I wanted to get into the healthcare field and get more experience to help me in nursing school. So I applied for the nurse tech position, did my interview, and got the job. It not only helps me put what I learned in the classroom into practice, but it also helps me get to know the people that one day I will be working with and will help guide me to being the best nurse that I can be.
So I've been at Newberry Hospital for about 3 years now. I grew up in Newberry. I had told myself that I was never going to go to Newberry College because it was a small town. I wanted to get out of my community. But after touring the campus, I actually decided to go there and pursued my degree in nursing. I wanted to work at a bigger hospital, but after I talked to the manager here, she walked me around the hospital, gave me a little tour of the floor and everything, and it made me feel like I was at home. Knowing that I grew up in Newberry, it makes me feel like I can give back to my community by being a nurse here.
When they are brought in as new grads, or if they are working there during their time in school, the hospital embraces them because they know that is the future of the hospital. And I feel like the family atmosphere, the camaraderie that takes place there is just a phenomenal opportunity for any new grad or any student to really appreciate that being in a smaller hospital, you have a whole lot more opportunity to become ingrained in the institution and not simply as an employee. And we are so delighted that we are expanding our clinical offerings at Newberry Hospital. And our students will be given the opportunity to be exposed to a whole lot more over there than what they have been in the past.
It's my calling and it's my passion, nursing. I've always wanted to be a nurse, and I wouldn't have it any other way than at Newberry Hospital.
Any questions or comments of Ms. Williams or Dr. Aloine?
Just a big thank you.
As an LPN.
Huge. That is absolutely incredible. Thank you both so much for that, and just great things from both organizations. What a blessing. Thank you. Number 3 on our agenda is the proclamation. This is probably my favorite part of this evening, and I look forward to doing this. We have declaring June 19th, 2022 as Juneteenth in recognition of the abolition of slavery in the United States of America. And the proclamation reads, whereas President Abraham Lincoln signed the Emancipation Proclamation on January 1st, 1863, declaring the slaves in the Confederate territory free, paving the way for the passing of the 13th Amendment, which was formally abolished slavery in the United States of America. And whereas word about the signing of the Emancipation Proclamation was delayed some 2.5 years to June 19th, 1865, in reaching authorities and African Americans in South and Southwestern United States. And whereas the Emancipation Day observations are held on different days in different states in the South and Southwest and in other parts of the nation. Whereas June 19th has a special meaning to African Americans and is called Juneteenth, combining the words June and 19th, and has been celebrated by the African American community for over 150 years. And whereas the annual Juneteenth celebration in the county of Newberry will take place on June 19th through 20th, 2022. Now, therefore, I, Todd Johnson, Chairman, Newberry County Council of the County of Newberry, South Carolina, do declare June 19th and 20th, 2022 as Juneteenth in the County of Newberry, South Carolina, and urge all citizens to become more aware of the significance of this celebration in African American history and in the heritage of our nation and county. In witness thereof, I have set my hand and caused the seal of our county of Newberry County, Newberry, South Carolina, to be affixed this 15th day of June, 2022. You are a wise man to be surrounded by such great men.
He's a good handler, too.
Yeah, he's a good handler, too.
You know, right behind you, there you go. Or better than behind you, Carl, there you go, see who's behind you. There you go. Hard, isn't it?
All else fails, go with that.
All right, yeah, thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Would any of you like to say something? This is the Juneteenth committee. Would any of you like to say something? Please take the podium and state your name and say what you'd like to say to us.
Good afternoon. I'm Jackie Holmes. I would like to give thanks to the County of Newberry, the councilman and councilwoman, for you all taking this time to make this presentation to us. I would also like to thank the committee, the original committee that started a year ago. They are known as the Seven Heaven. When I initially came up with this and wrote everything and had it approved through City Council, right then and there we were looking at 6 months to make this happen. So we work 6 months out of 12 months to make this event what it should be. So we have 7 members. We have 2 that are absent, 1 that's absent, Mr. Michael Rayford, but I will be remiss not to introduce them to everyone. We have Tamika Means, who is from Whitmire. We have Ms. Margot Whitener. We have Ms. Barbara Chapman. We have Councilman Carlton Kennard. We have Ms. Bridget Carey, who is the PRT, help me out, Ms. Bridget. She's the tourism guru, everybody, yes. Myself, Jackie Holmes, and we have Ms. Sheila Brown. We also added 2 subcommittee members since we are the original 7 Heaven. We have Ms. Denise Graham, and we also have, we call her First Lady Linda Hare. Her husband is a minister. We have worked 6 months out of the year. We start right after New Year's Day, and we will not be done until after we do our debrief on next Monday. So we invite all of you to please, even if you can't do the entire event, at least come and pick up some lunch, bring some family members. There will be food, there will be events for the children, there will be events at the museum. I promise you, we will make Newberry proud again this year. Safety shouldn't be of any issue. All of that is in place. We have a wonderful city and a county who is here to take care of all of us. So please come and enjoy and help us to celebrate Freedom Day on this coming Saturday. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank y'all for your hard work. A huge round of applause from us to you. Item number 4 on our agenda, council to approve recommendation from the Accommodations Tax Committee and Tourism related and promotional related. That was in our packet. Hopefully you've had a chance to review it. Is there a motion related to the Accommodations Tax Committee recommendation?
Ernie Shealy is here if you have any questions.
Okay.
The chairman of the-
All right.
I make a motion that we accept the recommendation.
Okay, we got a motion from Mr. Reader. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Second by Mr. Hip. Is there discussion? Hearing none, all in favor by show of hands. Opposed likewise. The motion carries unanimously. Item number 5 on our agenda is ordinance number 04072022, which is an ordinance to provide appropriations for the fiscal year beginning July 1, 2022 and ending June 30, 2023 for the Newberry County budget for the county ordinary purposes and for other county purposes for which the county may levy a tax and receive revenues, to provide for the levy of taxes on all taxable personal and real property in Newberry County for all county purposes, including sufficient tax to pay the principal and interest on outstanding indebtedness of Newberry County payable during the said fiscal year, to provide for matters relating to Newberry County, and to provide for the expenditure of said taxes and other revenues received by the county during said fiscal year, and to provide for borrowing in anticipation of tax collections by the issuance of one or more tax anticipation notes if necessary. This is our third and final reading. I know we'll have some discussions, but if we could get the motion to Jess first, and then we can handle that under discussion. So, is there a motion that this be third reading? Motion by Mr. Hip, second by Mr. Scurry. Now that we have those, is there discussion?
I think maybe some of our people that signed up for some of the budget, but I'm not sure.
Okay. Is there anybody here that signed up to speak about that wanted to speak about the budget in their public comments?
That would be building permits and all.
Building permits, anything like that?
I didn't sign up,
Okay.
but I guess I would like to speak.
What would be the wishes of council? We've already had our public hearing, so I don't want to get out of order, so it would not.
Let him come to the podium and speak his name.
I don't know the proper way, so.
think public hearing was,
Last meeting. Mhm. Okay. Is there discussion amongst council? Let's do it that way.
I just want to make sure nothing has changed.
Nothing has changed, I think, even within the budget, but I think there's some stuff that has surfaced that is of great concern. The building permit procedure is something that came to surface, which is a way of increasing funds for the budget, which was on the revenue side will be there, but on the, again, I guess in lack of true transparency of where the monies were coming from and the adjustments being made, some of this stuff just surfaced over the week when some of the builders came to get permits and found out that a building permit that potentially at one point would have been $1,000 and now it's like $3,200, $3,300 potentially. All of them are going from just being based on the value to being based on square footage. And there are pros and cons to that. Yeah, you do have a more common factor when you're doing square footage, but you got somebody who is trying to build on a budget, and they're going out here and building basically the very basics with a tile floor, with Formica tops on the cabinets, very basic, plain and simple. They're going to be basically charged at the same rate as someone who is going out here and building a home and getting imported lumber or flooring from South America, Italy, having marble granite countertop or a higher dollar countertop, higher dollar cabinets, whether they're going with, again, some kind of wood. And we're going to throw everybody into the same category, is what I'm understanding. And just base it sheer off of straight. So I guess I'm, again, speaking up for those people who maybe are less fortunate and trying to cut down on their cost. They're going to be charged at the same rate, just because if they did a 1,200 square foot or 2,400 square foot, it's going to be the same thing as somebody who's building a Taj Mahal.
Could maybe we hear from the building department for a clearer explanation? I mean, I'm not sure your understanding and my understanding of that's exactly the same.
Ron, would you mind coming to the podium?
So maybe we can hear from the building department, let them explain it.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Chairman and council members. The proposal is for a fee increase based on square footage calculations. That square footage number is 148 per square foot, as ICC recommends in their valuation data. I pulled our last 10 new house permits issued, and based on our last 10 permits issued, we had approximately 50% that was at or above 148 per square foot, and about 50% that was below 148. So it'd be a pretty close average to say at 148 we will be somewhere right in the middle of what we've done on the last 10 houses. We're trying to make an equitable situation where one builder won't come in and say, I can build this house for 60 a square foot, and then the next builder comes in with the same square footage and says, my value is going to be 150, 160. And I think we all know that a person can't build a house for 60 a square foot. And we've actually had that number submitted to us within the last couple of months. So we're trying to make an equitable number that would balance across with all builders.
So you're going from, am I speaking out of turn here?
No, we're in discussion.
You're going from a verbal from the builder or the customer that was getting the permit of what they claim that it's costing to build to a standardized way of, from the, what was it, ICC?
ICC, that's the International Code Council. Yeah. And that is correct. We're trying to get a standardized method to calculate permit fees.
Which that, from me, that seems to make sense, that we have some objective standard that we use as a basis rather than someone who comes in and says they're gonna build it for, say if somebody comes in and they want a permit and they say, I'm gonna build it for $60,000. But then after they're completed building, project's done, it's actually cost them $150,000. They haven't given us an accurate number on the front
Yes, sir.
end, and yet we have charged them based on what they told us, not based on what the final expense
Yes,
would
sir.
be. And so if you had a standard to apply across the board, I kind of like the idea of having a standard that's not developed by the contractor, the individual, or somebody's, whether they like the person who's coming in asking for a permit or they don't.
Yeah, yeah. Actually, I have one set of numbers here that shows a 1,986 square foot house was valued at $124,000 when they came in to give us the value. 62 a square foot, brand new house. And I think we all know that you can't do that with the way the numbers are now with the cost. And we're just trying to make it a fair and equitable way to calculate permit fees. We have some needs in our department. Of course, we need another staff member to help me with inspections. Right now, I'm scheduling in the next week for inspections. I already have Safe Build, our third-party contractor, working the Day Young project for us. So we're already stretched pretty thin and having to get assistance now to complete our inspections. Day Young sometimes needs daily inspections, and so that's why we're using third-party inspection group to do that. Our new neighborhood, Stewart Landing, started. We got 4 new houses in there. We're looking at Rolling Hills to get started, before too long. We issued 18 new house permits in March and May. That's a total of 36 just for 2 months. So we're busy, very, very busy, and we could use a little extra help.
Those ICC standards, are they broken down, subdivided by areas of the country? Or because as we know, our area of the country may be less than New York.
Yeah, what they recommend is to do a historical study. The problem with the historical study for us is we don't have the correct data to base it on because of some of these low numbers. So our data wouldn't be accurate to calculate the fees as they suggest. So we're requesting just to go with their basic valuation on their data chart and to start with that. And in the future, that number could vary. It could go down, could go up based on those values.
Have you benchmarked other counties around us? Do other counties use ICC as a basis?
Yes, sir, we have. I don't recall exactly which ones. There's probably, I think we got 5 or 6 adjoining counties and some not adjoining counties, and we studied those. Some of their fees are right with ours, and several of them use the ICC valuation data. Some of them use the old data. I think one county, and I don't remember which one, may have been Sumter. They may be at 102 a square foot. They're using old data. The 148 a square foot came out this February from ICC, and I think they put it out twice a year.
Just for comparison purposes, you talked about recent homes and what the average turned out to be. If you chose one of those homes where that average is and applied the ICC criteria to what that building permit would be, how would that have changed? How much would that change? I may be asking you a question you aren't prepared to answer, Ron, but if you are, I'd like to.
If we used, I don't have those numbers right here in front of me, but our increase would be let me put it this way. We already have a plan review fee and ordinance for residential construction, but in our office, we've never been allowed to use that fee. So the new fee structure is actually, the plan review fee is existing, and we're asking to let us implement that fee. Because I do all the plan reviews as well. I do not only inspections, but I do plan reviews too. Every house that comes in gets a plan review. And the reason I do the plan review is try to catch the code issues up front on the plans before they get started on construction. So we do plan reviews on every new house that comes through. And so I don't know if that answers your question or gives you an answer.
I guess my question, it goes back to just since we don't have historical data, but we've got data recently where it sounds like we have some examples of cost on buildings that we have permitted, and we permitted those on today's criteria. That is, what's been requested by the builder or owner, whatever they anticipated that cost would be. If we then took that same house that's just been approved and we applied the ICC criteria, how much variation would we have based on the permit charge that we applied based on their numbers, which I said use the average one versus the ICC, and how would that compare? Because I'm not sure we're going to have that there's a significant increase on everybody based on what you're telling me.
Most projects would increase some. Like I said, I have 10 of the last 10 houses we did. Some of those values, I have one value here at 186 a square foot. So their square foot value would actually decrease. But also we have to consider that our base fee would be increasing if you approve it, along with a price increase per thousand. So our increase would be to $50 base fee and then $10 for each additional thousand. Where right now we're at a $25 base fee and $5 for each additional thousand. So we've actually also had a commercial, the Day Young project, speaking of that again, they would have actually saved approximately $20,000 on their permit under this new system if it's approved. So everybody wouldn't pay more, some would pay less.
Basically, the person who is trying to build on a budget and cheaper is going to be the one that's going to subsidize the one who's building high dollar.
If they're less than that value of 148, they would be paying more, yes, sir. And I'd like to say again, that plan review fee, which is already in our ordinance, which hasn't been implemented, we're asking to implement that too.
And I guess I'd asked at one time for some comparable stuff, and I think the county administrator sent me City of Greenville. I'm not sure how the City of Greenville compares to Newberry, South Carolina, but that kind of stuff is just, again, I think had there been some transparency at the beginning, we wouldn't be having this discussion right now.
And if I may, I'd like to say, we did get comparisons from Lawrence County, Saluda County, Greenwood County. We went out and got Sumter County's paperwork. We'd be more close to Saluda County than we would any of those other ones with our fees. Saluda County is now at a base $50 fee, what we're requesting, and $7 per thousand after that.
Let me pick up on what you just said about the plan review fee. We have not been charging that.
No, ma'am, not on
That's
residential.
where the increase is really going to come from.
That's the big increase.
That's where the increase is coming from.
Yeah. Now, we've always done it on
They've been getting
commercial.
that free, basically.
Yes, ma'am.
And
That's where the
we
increase.
should be doing the plan
But
review, clearly.
It was in, but it never got in the, it was in the ordinance, is what you said?
Yes, already in there.
But
Yes,
it never
it's been in
was-
there. Yeah.
They never were allowed to implement it.
And I would like to say that we've always charged on commercial jobs, industrial commercial jobs. We charge for those plan reviews. And I do a residential plan review on every new house.
And this is one of those things too, where I have no problem, when we have subdivisions coming in, I have no problem with us doing an impact fee on subdivisions because of the amount of time it's gonna take and all the efforts, et cetera. But for our local builders and et cetera, basically what we're almost telling our local builders, we don't trust what you're saying is the square foot value of the house. You're basically telling them that they're lying. Or some of them are. I'm not gonna stop the budget because of it tonight, but I do have a real concern that it was not presented at the time that it should have been.
Are there any other questions?
Well, I'll restate that again. Basically, where the increase is coming from is the review process that we had not been charging for, but it was in ordinance and it just had never been done.
I think, I hear what everybody has said, but I do, if somebody's trying to build a house on their own, I do think that we got to find a way to help that person. But I think a budget amendment later would be a better way to handle that than to try to fix it tonight, because if we start adjusting one side, then we have to adjust the other side. And so I would be open to hearing more information, maybe having Ron come back and speak to us and addressing it so that we keep this as fair as possible. We want to encourage home building in Newberry County. We need more homes. We need more individual homes, and we need people to come into our community. So I appreciate what you've told us, and I don't dispute any of it. But our local builders have been with us a long time, and so I hope we can find a way to support them and let them know that we're not abandoning them just because these housing developments have come in.
Yes, sir.
May I say one more thing?
You certainly may.
On the public speaking, public comments, I'd like for Mr. Cantrell to be able to speak.
I would agree. Come on.
But no, well, I mean, we can wait until then. But I just think when stuff was not true, he can speak whenever, as far as I'm concerned. Yeah. But when stuff was not presented to us clearly, and we don't have the information, I understand why people are not here for the public hearing, which was last meeting.
Yes.
So therefore, when some of this stuff just surfaced, they don't have a reason to come out until they know about it.
I agree. We will, even though you're not signed up, Mr. Contrell, if you will hang with us, I will make sure you get a chance to speak to us, okay? Fair enough? All right. The other issue that I had raised that I would just bring is the copying fee is going up countywide from 30 cents to
35 to 50.
50 cents. I'm looking for help.
Yes,
Okay.
but at the clerk of court's office where.
Now, the fee schedule I had said countywide at the top of the sheet.
That's what I had too.
Yep.
It is, okay.
Okay.
I don't know where all those are, but the
My
biggest one that comes to mind is the courthouse.
My understanding is the rationale behind that, and just so that we clarify that, is that all the records at the courthouse will be online effective July 1st. And so those individuals will be able to print from their home. They won't actually have to come to the courthouse and print. Is that correct, Madam Clerk? Yes, sir. Okay, so it will take even more resources to stop and copy that. Is that correct?
Yes, and it's more and more expensive to maintain the machinery and buy paper and ink, and the fee hasn't been increased, from what I understand, in a very long time.
And we do use a lot of toner and paper and stuff like that. So.
Okay, all right. Is there any other comments about that? I know some of you others heard about that as well, so.
I think it's an extremely high jump, but if paper's going up that much and toner's going up that much, I mean.
Everything else has.
And I think being able to print from home is going to save a lot of that as well.
The traffic actually will slow down.
Yes.
As it did in my office.
Okay. Is there other discussion from council before we have final reading? Hearing none, we'll call the question. All in favor of the motion by showing of hands?
Only that we'll study it later.
Yes.
Yeah, because I'm extremely frustrated about that.
It carries unanimously. I should say I abstain from any portion to do with Law Track or WTH Technology. I would abstain from any portions of the budget related to those two companies. Okay. All right, item number 6 on our agenda is ordinance number 0408-2022, which is an ordinance to provide appropriations for the fiscal year beginning July 1, 2022, and ending June 30, 2023 for Newberry County Library, Piedmont Technical College, and Newberry Agency for Disabilities and Special Needs, to provide for the levy of taxes on all taxable personal and real estate properties in Newberry County for said purposes, to provide for the expenditure of said taxes and other revenues received by the county during said fiscal year for said purposes. This is the third and final reading. Is there a motion, Mr. Livingston? Is there a second by Mr. Hipp? Is there discussion on this budget?
Just to say, this is some of the best spent money in our county.
No question. No question. Anybody else? Here, go ahead.
There's been no changes, is that correct?
No changes, and the good news is that because of the increase in value of the mill, these organizations will get an increase in funding this year.
Any other questions or comments? Hearing none, all in favor by show of hands. Opposed likewise, it carries unanimously. Item number 7 on our agenda is ordinance number 517-2022, which is an ordinance acting on a request to amend the official zoning map established pursuant to the zoning ordinance number 122401 as revised and amended by zoning ordinance number 6-11-16 and codified in chapter 153 of the Newberry County Code of Ordinances, establishing zoning classifications in districts so as to rezone one real estate parcel totaling 779 acres, 0.779 acres, designated as TM parcel number 395-39 from RS Single Family Residential to R2 Rural. This is the second reading. Are there any changes since the last reading? No changes since the last reading. Is there a motion this be second reading? Motion by Mr. Reeder, second by Mr. Livingston. Is there discussion? Hearing none, all in favor by show of hands. Opposed likewise. Carries unanimously. Item number 8 on our agenda is ordinance number 05-18-2022, which is an ordinance authorizing the expenditure of capital project sales tax funds and matters relating thereto. This is the 2017 CPTST bonds related to the change at Whitmire, if I understand it correctly. Is there a motion this be second reading on that? Motion by Ms. Airwood, second by Mr. Livingston. Is there discussion? Hearing none, all in favor by show of hands. Opposed likewise, carries unanimously. Item number 9 on our agenda is consideration to accept the bid from Satterwhite Construction for road repairs of Scurry Island Road and Dock Holloway Road in the Chapels area of Newberry County. The base bid is $439,412.60. Mr. Pisano is here to speak to us on this.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is for pavement of Scurry Island Road, the county portion, and Dock Holloway Road. The roads aren't contiguous, but they're in the same area, so we feel like we were able to save some money on mobilization with that. We received one bid from Satterfield Construction for $439,412.60. And I know that there's always a concern when we only have one bidder. However, their unit prices for the full depth patch have not changed, even though oil has gone up significantly. And their price for per yard for the overlay only went up by $1.25. So we feel like we got a honest, true bid.
Okay. Are there other questions for Mr. Pisano?
This is coming out of the C funds.
I
always
apologize
like
for
to
that.
clarify that.
It is financed by the CTC. We've already got the approval from SCDOT, and it's within budget.
And this is a county road?
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
Well, how can people determine between state and county roads?
Usually, when they go from state to county, there's a sign that says end of state maintenance. This road is in particularly bad shape in the state portion. We've got a couple roads like that.
I guess the reason I'm asking that question is you see in social media so many times where the county gets blamed for roads, and most of them we don't even have jurisdiction over that's being complained. I didn't know whether there was something on the stop signs at the end of the road that says.
Any state route will have a black sign that says S36 dash whatever for the route number. And if you see that sign on a corner at an intersection, that indicates that it's a state route, either going one way or the other.
Yeah, just for clarification purposes. 'Cause
Yes, sir.
I see that so often, and it is misleading.
Yes, sir.
But on this, thanks for doing what you do to make our roads better.
Are there any questions?
Other questions?
Just, when we went out for bid on this, we only had one bidder. Is that normal for a project like this, Mike? I mean, or did we publicize it?
We do. It gets advertised on Skibo. It gets put up on our website. And it has happened quite a bit in the past. That's why I brought up the fact that we felt like we got a fair bid based on the unit costs. We have had other bids that have been far above what Satterfield has bid.
I mean, Satterfield's always done, I think, a good job.
Yes,
for the projects that they have bid on and won. I just find it surprising that something of this nature that we only had one bidder.
You have to consider where in the county it is. These roads are in Chapels. They've got their plant right there in Greenwood. So proximity is a factor. Trucking is a factor. I can't say why somebody didn't bid.
Right. As long as we've publicized it in accordance with our procedures and we don't have a bidder, we don't really have much choice.
Mr. Livingston, do you have something?
Les, one of the things that's causing some of these problems is the increased gas tax across the state. And about 5 or 6 years ago, when I was one of the South Carolina Association of Counties committee meetings, and they were talking about the increased money that will be coming in will put a demand on the people who are actually doing it. And it would probably take 5 to 10 years to get enough people to buy back the trucks and go back into the business and expand their businesses. So most of them, when you look at I-26 and some of these other places, they got a lot of our local subcontractors tied up on I-26. So what's ended up happening, the pool of people is so much less now because of all of the big projects going on and the amount of growth in the projects because of the gas tax, that the number of suppliers or people that actually provide for us, they're not out there. Whether that's good for us or bad for us.
Any other questions or discussion? Hearing none, is there a motion related to the acceptance of this bid?
Yes.
Motion by Mr. Scurry, second by Ms. Airwood. Is there other discussion? All in favor by show of hands? Opposed likewise? The motion carries unanimously.
Thank you.
Are we discussing item 10 as part of the executive
Mr.
session?
Chairman,
We'll move forward with that.
I was going to request that no action be made, but Mr. Kyle from Alliance is here. You could get some information. Finance Committee got the same information, but not everybody on council has heard the request. So,
Okay.
But I would ask that you not take action until after executive session. If you choose.
Okay. So item number 10 is an $88,894 change order request from MCCPI, which is the road extension with Alliance Engineering and Lindler Construction. You said he's here somewhere?
Yes, sir.
Do you want to speak to us before we go? There he is. I lost you. You want to speak to us before we go into executive session about that?
So during the Finance Committee on the 7th, I believe it was, we presented the background of this change order request. Essentially, this line item in particular is a unit price-based bid at $26 a square foot. The wall was a design-build approach, so at the time of design, the wall was assumed to be a certain height on both crossings. In total, there's 4 walls and 2 crossings within the Phase 2 and Phase 3 portion of the Mid-Carolina Commerce Park. The wall was designed by the contractor. After analysis of the soil, it determined the wall needed to be taller in terms of the slope stability characteristics of the soil. So the wall needed to be taller, and also to avoid overtopping of stormwater over the top of the wall. Because of that, the square footage of the wall increased by the amount that equates to the $88,000 and change. So we had made the recommendation based on the unit price to proceed with that, based on the unit price in the original bid on the project itself.
Okay, any questions for Kyle? All right, thank you very much. We will take that under advisement. Item number 11 is an executive session. Code Section 30-4-70, subsection A of the Code of Laws of South Carolina as amended, 1976. Council will be moving into executive session for discussion of employment, appointment, compensation, promotion, demotion, discipline, or release of an employee, a student, or a person regulated by a body, or the appointment of a person to a public body. However, if an adversary hearing involving the employee or client is held, the employee or client has the right to demand the hearing be conducted publicly. Nothing contained in this item shall prevent the public body in its discretion from deleting names of the other employees or clients whose records are submitted for use at the hearing. Second portion of the executive session is discussion of negotiations incident for proposed contractual arrangements and proposed sale or purchase of property, the receipt of legal advice where the legal advice relates to a pending, threatened, or potential claim, or other matters covered by the attorney-client privilege, settlement of legal claims, or the position of the public agency in an adversary situations involving the assertion against the agency of a claim. Final purpose of our executive session is discussion of matters relating to the proposed location, expansion, or provision of services, encouraging location or expansion of industries or other businesses in the area served by the public body. I know some of you come here with something on your heart. I know you've been sitting for an hour or so. We would encourage, stand up, stretch. I promise you that we will be as brief as possible when we go into executive session, and we will get back to you as quickly as we can. Please don't leave. You've come here. Don't go home angry because you didn't get a chance. You will get a chance. Just stay with us, okay? Is there a motion that we go into executive session? Motion by Mr. Hipp, second by Mr. Reeder. Any discussion? All in favor by show of hands. Opposed likewise. We stand in executive session. We will return as quickly as possible. Is there any discussion? All in favor by show of hands. Opposed likewise. We are now back in regular session. I am so sorry. I am so sorry. If you think it was rough where you were, just know it was worse where we were, so. Newberry County Council met in executive session for the prescribed aforementioned reasons under South Carolina state law. No action was taken. Are there any motions related to executive session? Hearing none. Item number 12, adoption of the consent agenda. Is there a motion to adopt the consent agenda, which is the council meeting minutes of June 1st?
We need to go back to 10. Didn't we skip 10?
We did, but we weren't going to take any action on it unless you
Sorry.
changed your mind.
No.
Okay. All right.
Sorry.
It's all right. Is there a motion related to the adoption of the consent agenda, which is the council meeting minutes of June 1st, 2022?
I make a motion.
Motion.
Accept the minutes for June 1st with any necessary corrections.
Motion by Mr. Reader. Is there a second? Second by Ms. Airwood. Is there discussion? Hearing none, all in favor by show of hands. Opposed likewise.
I'll just abstain, I wasn't here.
Okay. Okay.
I don't know if those minutes are accurate or not.
All right. Okay. So we have 5-4 and, yes, 5-4 and Mr. Hip is abstaining. Item number 13 on our agenda are the appointments. Item number 1 is the Economic Development Task Force. What I think would be easiest is if we could just move down the line and ask each council member to make their appointment, and then we will recognize those one by one rather than in bulk in case there are issues with an individual. So, Mr. Livingston, we'll start on your side.
Jennifer Barochak.
Mr. Livingston nominates Jennifer Barochak. Is there a second to that nomination? Second by Mr. Hip. All in favor by show of hands. Opposed likewise. It carries unanimous. Ms. Airwood.
I nominate Buddy Johnson.
Ms. Airwood nominates the former mayor of Newberry, of Little Mountain, Buddy Livingston. Mr. Livingston is
Second.
Buddy Johnson. Mr. Livingston is second. The older you get and the tireder you get, the more names just run together. Buddy Johnson is the nominee by Ms. Airwood, seconded by Mr. Livingston. Is there discussion? All in favor by show of hands. Opposed likewise. It carries unanimously. Mr. Hip.
Ms. Michelle Long.
Mr. Hip nominates Ms. Michelle Long. Is there a second to that nomination? Second by Mr. Reader. Is there discussion on that nominee? Hearing none, all in favor by show of hands. Opposed likewise. It comes to the chair. I would like to nominate Blake Roach to the committee.
I second that.
Second by Ms. Airwood. Is there discussion? Hearing none, all in favor by show of hands. Opposed likewise. Mr. Reader.
Mr. Jeff Wicker.
Jeff Wicker is Mr. Reader's nominee. Is there a second? Second by Mr. Livingston. Is there discussion? All in favor by show of hands. Opposed likewise. That carries unanimously. Mr. Scurry.
Boyd Paul.
Boyd Parr is Mr. Scurry's nominee. Is there a second? Second by Mr. Hip. Is there discussion? All in favor by show of hands. Opposed likewise. That carries unanimously. And then Mr. Shealy had made an indication of his choice. Is there someone who would be willing to make that nomination on his behalf?
Yes.
Okay.
Ms. Kara Cannon.
Okay, the nominee is Ms. Cara Cannon. There's a second by Mr. Hip. Is there any discussion? All in favor by show of hands. Opposed likewise. I believe that completes the nominees for the committee that will serve as our Economic Development Committee. Mr. whatever your name is. Good luck. I know that you will use them well, and we just appreciate Rick, all that you're going to do with them, and I pray that they'll be able to help guide and shape the future of Newberry County as it comes to economic development. Okay. Also with nominations, and my beautiful friend not only is going to be nominated, but she stayed with us. She was here, I believe, earlier with the June 19th or Juneteenth proclamation, but I would like to and proudly nominate my sister in Christ, Tamika Means, to the Joint Planning Commission. Would you wave at them and let them see who you are? So, all right. Second by Mr. Reader. Is there discussion? All in favor by show of hands, opposed likewise. Now, the long-awaited public comment section. So, we're going to get started. I appreciate all of you staying again sincerely. I know it seems like we were there a long time, but there's a lot of business that is thrown at us, and so it's a lot to think about. So let me just start without a further ado. Joey Works.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you for coming tonight and staying.
Yes, sir. We have some needs in our area as far as fiber optic. I'm on 7034 St. Luke's Church Road. I've talked to several people on our street. Our internet service is near to none. I looked at we're at the very end of Duke Power, which would, REA is 180 yards. I arranged it this afternoon, and it's a direct line to the next pole. Now, whether they can go 180 yards without using an additional pole, I'm not sure. But if it opened up that end, it would open up many, many homes down the road. For instance, within a quarter mile, there are 14 homes. But in our area with Verizon, T-Mobile, very little service as far as being able to use it as an internet, as a hub. So it's just something that I wanted to bring before the councilman and council lady and see if there's anything that we can get done for it. I think a lot of us here have a lot of the same concerns, but it would be a very big benefit for us as far as businesses in the area. Being able, as I do my classes, to accept money through the internet. So it's a lot of areas that would benefit us in that area, as well as give Newberry Electric additional monies. So
Where is that?
I'm on St. Luke's Church Road, behind Prosperity, about 4 miles. And we're at the very end of Duke Power Line, and the REA is literally catty-cornered across the road, 180 yards to be exact.
Any questions or comments for Mr. Wirtz?
Mr. Chairman, if you'll just take my card, there's a survey on the state ORS site, and they're trying to gather this kind of data, so it'd be really helpful, and I can direct you to that survey.
Okay.
And we're trying to map all these comments as best we can and get that information as grants continue to come down from the state and from the federal government. So
Are there any grants available right now, or any
Not
monies?
to the county, so the current the available grants through ORS are to the providers.
Okay.
But we're working closely and we're monitoring the progress. In fact, we have a map, and I can direct you to this information as well, but we have a map that shows that by the end of the year, some significant progress will be made. We won't be completely done, but we still have about 800 plus homes that would need to be connected after the current projects. And so next year, we'll be working on those as well.
Right, and I've also contacted Duke Power, and they have no intentions of bringing fiber our way, or fiber at all, in my understanding. Okay.
I don't think Duke does that. I would say that we've been working with Newberry Electric. We were supposed to hear from Charter at our last meeting, and something happened because they're part of our service area as well. But we've all committed. I don't think there's any member up here that doesn't have somewhere that doesn't have some internet coverage. So we're committed to supporting them using the American Recovery Act money and those kind of things to try to get this done. But unfortunately, we kind of lie at their mercy about what service areas they're able to go to and where their strategic plan is taking them. So, but we do commit. You see every head up here knocking. We commit. We know the need for internet service throughout Newberry County, and our commitment is to support that and try to get it countywide as soon as possible.
And again, my area, logically, to me, within 180 yards, you can run it and just run the poles. You don't even have to plant poles.
Right.
So, which is a blessing for anyone.
Absolutely.
As far as the front end.
And the way they explain, I don't want to get too detailed because I'm not capable. I know enough to be dangerous and maybe not even that much. Is if it's not their service area, they have to have waivers from whoever to start serving that area, and so it gets kind of complicated about who can do what, where, so, but I'll leave that to their lawyers to figure out.
And I actually contacted Duke Power as far as that's concerned, and because they're not offering, it doesn't seem like there's going to be an issue.
Right.
you know,
Yeah.
where we go, we don't know.
But I guarantee all of them have room full of lawyers that'll figure it out.
Thank you.
Thank you, Joey. Next is the lovely Jan Hyman.
Thank you for your time.
Yes,
We really
ma'am.
appreciate it. And I'm actually a resident on Clara Brown Road. We, as our little group here, all live either on St. Luke's Church Road or Clara Brown Road or Colony Church Road. And we all have the same concerns. I have been a teacher in this school district for 27 years, and it is very challenging for me. You know, I need internet, and I have to spend a lot of extra time at school getting things done because I do not have a reliable internet service at my house. And so we are really, if you could, you know, push through and get this as quickly as possible, we would all really appreciate it. I know, you know, each one of us have different needs. Some of us, we run businesses out of our homes. But for me personally, it's the fact that, you know, I need it for educational purposes. And so thank you very much for your time.
Jan, thank you so much for your patience, and I enjoyed speaking to you on the phone, and I do commit. I hope you know from the bottom of all our hearts, we're committed to doing this.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. The lovely Madison Hyman. She loves her preacher, by the way.
I do. I really do. Thank y'all for letting me come here to speak. I'm from Clara Brown Road. I have many friends that go to college and are still in high school on Fire Tower, Clara Brown, and Colony Church Road in particularly. I'm in nursing school right now, and just in a week time frame, we're in summer, I'm expected to do about 4.5 hours of online time with simulation labs and everything. And that takes me around, you know, double that time just because it won't load, and I'm unable to do my schoolwork in a timely fashion. We have a PA student that comes down on the weekends to visit her family, and she has to bring extra materials and has to go other places just to do her schoolwork, and that takes time away from visiting her family when she is in town. When I have to submit assignments, I have to drive 4 minutes down the road, and I know that doesn't seem like a lot, but just the fact that somebody has internet 4 minutes away from me, I have to go sit in her driveway and wait about 45 minutes for it to load just on the smallest little bit I can possibly get just to upload assignments. So it is very taxing on us. I understand y'all have a lot of concerns and y'all are doing it as best as y'all possibly can. But our little area, we're committed to doing whatever we can to get it. And we thank you for your time.
Thank you, sweetheart. Appreciate that very much.
Thank you for not bringing your dad.
Yeah. Yeah. The two smart ones definitely spoke. No, I'm just. That's what I just said. The two smart ones there. I told Eddie he had to be the blessed man in town, sitting between those two beautiful ladies. All right. Daniel and Susie Fulmer. I'm sorry.
Danny had to leave.
Okay. How about Susie? She's not there. Okay. Jason Long.
Mr. Science.
Yeah, that's me. I've worked almost as long for Newberry County School District as Ms. Hyman. And to be honest with you, it's one of those things, the internet thing wasn't a problem until you needed it. With the COVID years, like Ms. Hyman probably could vouch for, when we were trying to do things from home, really, really needed it. And my son, he come home from college. He had to do some things on Clemson's website, so he borrowed off Newberry County School District. He had to travel all the way out to my school to connect, to be able to. So I'm just, just kind of making the point that you don't need it until you need it, and then when you do, it's a problem. So thank y'all for working on that issue.
What road? We appreciate that.
I live on Colony Church Road.
I think we all of a sudden became 100% dependent on something that everybody assumed everybody had, and that's not true. So, all right, Grayson Long.
I'm gonna be 100% honest. I didn't know my name on that sheet. Man, I was gonna speak.
You don't have to if you don't want to,
I know
but
I
you
will.
can. Okay.
Like I said, come home from Clemson. I got to pay all my parking tickets I accumulated this year, and I had to go. You know, the equivalent $10 in gas to go to the school just to use internet. I know that's probably like a third of what it costs per month to get it at my house. That's pretty aggravating, but anytime I need to do just the slightest thing related to college, I have to go travel, and it just gets annoying. But I appreciate y'all working on it.
Thank you so much. Ava Grace Long.
She's declining.
I noticed she's sliding down her chair as she's declining. You cannot disappear. You cannot get away. You don't have to speak. Thank you for being here tonight, though. Gordon Johnson, never afraid to speak.
No comment.
No comment. All right. Joe, I hope I'm going to say this right. Steets.
Yes, thank you, Council. Joe Steets is correct. Thank you.
Oh, wonderful.
I'm new to the area, and I really like Newberry. And I live in Prosperity, part of the county. And my concern is a safety concern. I know it's a state road, Bethel Church Road, but the road needs some real serious attention. And I know you guys can't, as a county, go out and pave a state road, but I figured with your influence, you may be able to, you know, kind of push a little against the state people and get something done, because Bethel Church Road, I mean, if you drive down that road, you can, the whole edge of the road has ruts in it. And if a trailer's going down one side of the road and a trailer's coming up this side of the road, they cannot both be on the road at the same time. And I spoke with someone else that's a fireman in the area. They cannot drive their fire truck on one side of the road. The road is not wide enough. So we've approached the state, this and that and stuff. I would just like to ask the council to bring their influence maybe with the state to motivate them for safety reasons to get this repaired sooner.
Appreciate that. Have you filed a complaint with the DMV, Department of Motor Vehicles online site?
Not motor vehicle, no.
I mean, Department of Transportation.
DOT.
They have a website where you can lodge complaints, and believe it or not, you get pretty quick response from them.
Yes, right. Yeah,
I've
we have
done that a couple
followed that
times
direction too. Yes.
Good. I've done that a couple of times as a constituent service, and it's really been pretty fast.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Well, if somebody associated with the council can maybe kind of push somebody in there, you know.
I would love to tell you we had that kind of clout, but we've heard you, sir.
Thank you very much.
Yes, sir. Jacob Brown. Okay, sounds great. Lee Lathrop. Okay. Katie Stevens. I know you're gonna tell me something. Okay, good to see y'all here tonight. We go, gosh, how many years with baseball and everything else? So what a blessing. Jamie? No, he's a man of few words anyway. How about Dad's? He saying anything? He's already bailed, hasn't he? Okay. He's planning where y'all gonna cut grass tomorrow. Laura Dukes. Gone. Charlie Dukes. Gone. Lynette Turner.
Same concerns.
Okay. All right. How about Randy Turner?
I got more to say about it.
Okay, come on up, sir. I like that shirt. I might need to borrow that sometimes.
I'd like to know why the county council can give part of the money for 3 roads for the internet service and the rest of the county don't get anything.
The reason is because that's where the internet provider had grant and resources to go there. We didn't pick that area. They
No, but
picked
y'all
that.
went ahead and wanted to go 50-50 with it.
Yes, sir. So that
But we all pay county taxes.
Yes, sir. And as soon as they get ready to come to your area, we plan on supporting
And
that
well,
as
I'm gonna call it a church, and you got about 20 houses on the end that don't have anything.
Yes,
The
sir.
rest of it does. And you got a couple more roads the same way.
Yes, sir.
Where, you know, we didn't take and say, well, we're gonna be on REA or we're gonna be on Duke.
Right.
That wasn't our decision.
I understand, sir.
So,
But I don't want you to feel like, I don't want to get in the back and forth. I'll talk to you offline, but I assure you, when it comes to your area, we're going to do the same thing for you as well. We didn't pick that area. That area was brought to us by the provider.
And it was stipulations on it that they had filled out. It was more to it.
Some special grant that they got because there was some underserved areas on it. I can go back.
Well,
and
we all
recall
on
everything.
underserved areas.
I'm talking about underserved students, I'm sorry. So we can go back and forth, but I don't want to do that. This isn't the format for that.
Yeah.
But I know that if you want it to look bad, it does look bad, but the truth is we didn't choose that area. The internet service provider did, and we're going to do the same thing for you all as soon as we get the opportunity.
And if you go back and look at the video, I actually questioned why it had to go to that direction, but
Yep.
anybody that's not being served is truly being underserved.
That's
and
true.
Again, after 32 years in education, I feel like every kid that needs the opportunity to have it. So we are going to make a good faith effort to put it everywhere that we can possibly put it, because again,
Well, the part
it's
I don't
unfair.
understand is where Duke starts and REA leaves. You got parts right there close to it, and y'all going way down to the lake to do this.
Sir, we are not the provider. It has to be the companies the county does not provide.
No, but the county put part of the money.
We help match a grant.
For them to go to, it was specific to that area.
Specific. We didn't choose the
We
area.
didn't choose that. We didn't go randomly and pick an area. In fact, if you watch the video from that night, I was zoomed in because I was traveling. But my concern was how much it was going to cost for that area. So, I mean, we share some of your concerns, but we don't decide who gets what when. The internet service providers do.
and also Christopher had made mention about going online. Oh, y'all, please go online and file, just so
Yes.
there's information there to show the concern.
I already done that.
Okay, good. All right, I promised you a forum, so come on up, sir.
Well, I appreciate y'all allowing me to speak since I didn't sign up. And the reason I didn't sign up, other contractors I thought would be here, they were going to be speaking. So I feel I need to speak on behalf of the local builders. And I'm Myron Cantrell with MC Builders. I'm the owner. And first of all, I would like to say that Newberry County is one of the best counties as far as going and pulling a permit. Their department and their zoning are extra friendly. They get you in and get you out. I deal with other counties, Lexington, Saluda, different ones, Richland, and it's a drawn out process. They can take months before I get permits. So I commend our department and zoning and the building department. And another thing I say is Ron is an outstanding inspector. When we lost him for a few months, everybody was upset. Ron's a fair person. He works with you. All the local builders, we need a question answered. We can call him directly. He spends time with us before we do things. And it means a lot to me personally. And I like that because in most of the counties I deal with, I have different inspectors on different days, same job. Lexington County, I'll have 7 different inspectors, and each inspector's looking at something different. Well, you build a relationship, and Ron's a great guy, and he needs help. And, I mean, for a while, he was able to keep up with it. But again, with the developments coming in and the new infrastructures that are coming in, he can't do it, and again, he's having to sub it out. And so my biggest thing is, and the other contractors, we know there has to be an increase. I mean, we know that. I mean, our county's gotten larger. But we don't expect such a large increase at one time. We understand zoning. Zoning's been $20 for 20 years. You know, $75, that's okay. There's not a builder that I've talked to that has a problem with that. And as far as, you know, the planning review fee, you know, if it needs to be implemented, that's great. I just need to know what it is so I can prepare for it when I put a bid together. Now, as far as the other, you know, we talked about a 2,000 square foot house. You can have night and day, and again, they're paying the same amount. There's a little problem with that. And I wish we could come up with a solution, because I go to Lexington County, they do it on a square footage price. And on average, when I pull a permit, their permit price is basically the same as ours here. Now, I'm not building for $65 a square foot. I wish I could, but I'm building anywhere from $175 to $210 a square foot. Now, if a true contractor comes in here, he builds custom houses, and he sells you $75 or $65 a square foot, he's stretching the truth. I'm not gonna call him a liar. So there's a couple different things I've thought about. When you go to some counties, you have to show evidence of contract before I can pull a permit. So I had to show them my contract with my signature and my client's signature with the amount, okay? So before I can even pull a permit, they know what the cost of this house is going to be. And I think that's pretty fair analysis on how you go about, you know, on charging a fee. The other thing, you know, as far as our fees going up, and again, I do agree that we have to increase. But to go across the board and do a 60% increase on a building permit, goes from a $1,000 to a $3,000 or plus. I pulled my last permit in Saluda County was $4,500, okay? And I don't want to see us get to that point. And what they're doing now is they eliminated their building department, and they hired an outside firm, which is Safe Built, which you are familiar with. Well, they keep their revenue, but they also bump their revenue up to cover Safe Built, which is not really fair for the residents in Saluda County now. So I just don't want us to end up like that. Again, if every builder would be fair and honest and present the proper amount, I've never come out of that office without paying them over $1,000, okay? And that's just understandable. And again, if we could come up with a fair solution across the board, because probably 90% of your permits pulled are from builders, okay? You probably have 10% or 5% of people that are individuals pulling their own permits. Very few, because most banks require a builder. So if they come in and they fib, you know, that's a low percentage. But if a contractor comes in there and lays a contract out, there's no fibbing. And that would be the most fair. You know, again, their department needs help. And again, I appreciate every one of them in the department, the zoning people, the building department. And, you know, Ron's 3 and 5 days out doing inspections now for us. And it's not his fault. It's the amount of volume of people moving into this area. And he doesn't have the help. So my biggest concern is we pass this and it goes into general funds. I want to make sure the majority of that general funds goes back to those two departments that need it. So it will benefit the community as us builders not having to wait 3 and 5 days for an inspection. Possibly we got a footing wide open waiting on rain to come, and he can't get to us, and then we have to redig our footings. Those kind of things cost us money and time. So if there's a way to come up with a solution to benefit the county and do it in a fair amount and a fair way to help them, I'm all for it. But as far as their funds going into general funds to be spent on recreation, I have a problem with that. So if we can somehow show that those funds that are being in will be used for the majority of that department to help our neighborhoods and our community, because inspections are very important. I mean, if you're not getting a good inspection, and again, there could be problems later on, or you're rushing something. And the last thing Ron wants to do is take on more than he can handle, because he really takes his time when he does inspection. He should. But he can't rush an inspection just to keep the quota. So that's my biggest thing. If I could, again, I didn't know about this till this past Thursday. I'm sorry. I wish I'd been aware of the special called hearing, because I'd have been here. And I wish other contractors would step up and do the same, because I hear it. But, you know, at the end of the day, I'm here. But I love this community. I grew up in Chapin, and I've been here about 31 years now. And I wouldn't move back to Chapin. I want us to be a great community, a loving community, and I want us to develop and grow. But again, these larger contractors coming in, these big tract builders, you know, I understand it. We want to have it. But the problem is they're not bringing anything to this community except the tax base. okay? They're not buying their supplies from the local suppliers. They're not using any of our local subs. So at the end of the day, when they move in, they pay property tax. That's great. But when they move in, they bring 5 children with them, which increases our population in our schools as well. And now we start building our schools, so that tax base is now going to schools. So I think I've said enough, but first of all, I just want to say our building department is a great building department, and I'd like to see them get help, but in a fair way.
Okay.
All right?
Thank you so much for your
Yes, sir.
demeanor and your wise words. We appreciate you speaking on that. Is there anybody else who wants to make public comments, particularly about the codes? All right, hearing none. County comments or requests from the county administrator.
Mr. Chairman, thank you. I recognize the irony of what I'm about to say, but there's an online survey that it would be very, very helpful to get everybody here to go if you haven't already gone. And if you need, take my card, I will send you a direct link. I understand the irony of saying that because of the difficulty of getting online to take a survey. But I'll email you and maybe you'll get it. But please get in touch with me. The state is collecting that data specific to your addresses, and they're very sensitive to students in households that don't have internet, and they are prioritizing the next round of grants based on the data that they're getting from these online surveys. So please, please, please take my card or leave me your email. We'll get you that information. Tell all your friends and neighbors. It'll be extremely helpful when they divvy up the next round of grants. So my next comment is I'm very happy to announce that the ink is almost dry on a contract with Spartan Races, which is an obstacle course race that will be coming to Newberry County in July 30th and July 31st. It's a 2-day event, a 5K and a 10K. So keep your ears and eye out, and if you know anybody that wants to compete, we're looking forward to them coming to Newberry. About 6,000 to 8,000 people coming to town on that weekend, and an obstacle course, kind of a neat sort of spin on running races. I'm very happy to announce that. And finally, I would be remiss if I didn't thank Jay Tothaker, the county attorney, for his 14 years of service to the county and his 40 years of legal experience. He is leaving a big void just in terms of the quality of advice that we get and the quality of experience that we get. It's going to be very difficult to replace him. Tonight's his last council meeting, and I just want to personally say that I appreciate his presence and for him hanging on to let me get settled in, and it just means a lot to have had this time with him and learn from him as much as I can while he's here. So thank you, Jay.
Okay. Comments or requests from council members? We'll reverse order. Reverend Scurry.
We're so glad to have everyone out tonight, especially our county attorney. He applied his resignation, but have not been accepted yet by council. I guess we will dismiss him. On various positive requests, I would like for all of you to keep one of my council members in your prayers as y'all leaving tonight, Nick Shigley. Good friend of mine, good friend of the whole council, and we just question everyone to keep him in your prayers. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Mr. Reader?
Yeah, I'd like to say congratulations to Jay for making all those many years. When I first got on council, he was the first person I actually sat down with and had a conversation, and it was very helpful. So we truly gonna miss you if we let you go. But I hope you have great success in your future endeavors. I'd like to thank all ones who were responsible for the budget, and every year it comes down to June, and I know all the things that they've been through, and the budget is the toughest thing to do when it comes to the county. So I appreciate all that they do and the late nights that they spend and everything they do to get the budget. Debbie, Christopher, and Rick, Don. Oh, Donna. Yeah, Donna. I didn't even see you back there. Yeah, doing the budget. It's tough every year because our main purpose is to make sure that we don't try to make taxes go up for the citizens of Newberry County. So we truly appreciate the job that they do every year. And I hope to see everybody out at the Juneteenth celebration this Saturday. It's truly a great event. It's going to be a lot of singing, a lot of games, a lot of talent, because people will be doing their own talent, signing up to do their own talent, as well as I hear gospel music. So it should be a great event for everybody to enjoy, and it'll be from 10 to 4 on Saturday. So I hope to see everybody out there.
All right, Ms. Airwood.
All right. I too want to thank everybody that helped with the budget. I'm glad to get it behind us, but it's a continuing thing, and it's very stressful. You ought to, not only with the staff, but then we have to try to look at it from a perspective of, keeping the budget as low as we can without raising any taxes. Sometimes that's inedible, but we work very hard to strive to give us a good budget. I too want to remember Nick Shealy, because he just had surgery, so keep him in your prayers. And I too want to thank Jay for his service. I've been on the other side with Jay. When I was assessor, we went to administrative law court a couple times, and it was a great experience, and didn't have a problem. So congratulations on your retirement, and hope you enjoy your retirement.
Mr. Livingston.
Okay, one, Myron, thanks for coming. You and I played phone tag back and forth, so I definitely wanted to hear your concerns, but I did hear from a lot of your coworkers, whatever, other people, and it was heard loud and clear. Ron, I will say this, you are highly praised by all the contractors in the county, so thank you for what you and your team provides as services. Other than being short-staffed, I heard that time and time again, so I totally agree with Myron. If the money that comes in for that should go to your department to help enhance. I think I mentioned earlier, I do think that we need to review what's going on here, but at the same time, I got no problem with going and putting impact fees on these track builders. I just think that that's a direction we need to look into so that doesn't get out of place. Again, yes, Nick, I tell you, just keep him in your thoughts and prayers. I did get a text from him just now, so he is able to text a little bit. Those of you who are here about the, I guess Carolina Connect is technically what it all boils down to, please go on that website when you can. Again, as Christopher said, it's kind of ironic to tell you to go to the website, but that website also is providing a lot of information with blocks and stuff of what the state's trying to look to provide monies, et cetera. So it's a pretty interactive site. So with that, please do that. Jay, hate to see you go, but good luck. Congratulations. Wish you well. I guess I've been here basically about as much time as you've been here. So thank you for all your knowledge and all that you've shared. Council, we hired a county administrator that's got an attorney background, so we might can cross-train him and not have to hire an attorney. So with that being said, I'll yield it to someone else.
Mr. Hipp.
Well, I agree with everything everybody said, so I won't repeat it.
Okay.
Except for thank you for the work on the budget. This has been, as always, a difficult process. And Jay, as far as retirement, you'll love it. It's a good thing.
All right, I want to take just a minute to acknowledge our elected officials in the back row back there, our auditor and our clerk of court. Thank you for what you do for Newberry County.
Our assessors back there.
Assessors back there.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yes.
I didn't see you back there. I'm sorry. Jan had to move for me to see you. Because of my vocation after retirement, Jay, you're going to have to find something else to do like I did. You're going to have to find some more jobs. My wife, after about 3 weeks, you're like, you're out of here. Because of my new season of life, I get to travel in some of the circuits that they do, and Newberry County is well thought of in our elected officials, and I know Sheriff Foster was here earlier as well, so we're blessed by that. I would say with the budget, I have said this group has heard me say this a bunch, I think the budget's the most important thing that county government does. And so that's why it takes so long, and it's a difficult process, and not everybody's happy. It's almost you have to give a little bit and take a little bit to get where you need to be. And so just thankful for all that. Jay, I pray you are blessed in whatever seasons of life that you choose to go to from this point. Having said that, County Council meeting July 6th, 6 p.m. Executive Committee meeting on July 11th at 6 p.m. County Council meeting on July 20th at 6 p.m. Is there a motion that we be adjourned?
So moved.
Motion and a second. All in favor by show of hands. We're not even discussing it. We just do it.